Alrighty, so we're going to be starting with perimeter today. So perimeter is the distance around a shape. So you can imagine that you're driving yourself in a little car and you start in one place, and it's the distance you have to travel before you get back to where you started. That's what perimeter is. It's a linear unit. All that means is that we're measuring a straight line. So we're going to use the units of millimeters, centimeters, meters, and kilometers. That's always the case for perimeter. And for these first few questions, it's nothing too crazy. So for this first one, I just want to remind us that when we see these lines here and here, that means that those two sides have the same length. So that means this is also 6 centimeters and this is also 8 centimeters because they both have two lines and those both have one line. So what's the perimeter? Well, perimeter is just equal to S of S, which stands for sum of sides. Sum is a fancy way of saying adding things. And sides, well, sides. So it's going to be 8 plus 8 plus 6 plus 6. If you're clever, you might do 8 times 2 plus 6 times 2. If you're other clever, you might do 8 plus 6 times 2. Either way, you're going to add them all up, and the total will be 28 centimeters. Alrighty. Let's have a look at the second one. So the second one, we're almost ready to go. In fact, we can already write 8 meters here, which is nice. But the problem is that they've got a few blank sides. And this happens a few times. Whenever you see blank sides, use the parallel sides. So since these two sides match up with this side that we don't know the length of, well, I can add them together, and that's going to be 16 meters on this side. But over here, we've also got a blank side. But in this case, it would be 6 meters plus the blank side is equal to 16. And we can work that out by going, well, 16 minus 6, well, it must be 10 meters on this side. Now that we know that, we can just do our perimeter, which is P equals S of S, and we're going to add up a bunch of numbers. We've got 16 plus 16 plus 8 plus 10 plus 8 plus 6, which adds up to 64 meters. Once again, just with our units, whenever we're doing perimeter, we must make sure we use the correct unit. Let's look at some curvy ones. Alrighty, so for these curvy ones, we just need to remember one new formula, which is that the circumference of a circle is 2 pi r. You can use the alternative formula, which is pi d. However, only one of these is actually on the formula sheet. So we're going to be using 2 pi r for this. Now, r is the radius. We don't have the radius. We actually have the diameter. It should be nice to know the other formula, but it's fine. Well, the radius is just half the diameter, so 25 divided by 2 is 12.5. So that's the radius. C is equal to the circumference, which is the perimeter of a circle, just like that. And we get 78.539, which I'll round up to 4. And once again, circumference, just like perimeter, gets measured in linear units. So this last one here is a little bit tricky. We know two of the sides. We've got 2 kilometers here and 2 kilometers here, but the problem is we've got this length on this side that's a little bit harder to work out. So in order to work out the length of this, well, this is like part of a semicircle. It's part of a circle. So the full circle is 2 pi r, but then we only want a part of it. How much do we want? Well, some angle over 360. That's the part we want. So in our particular case, we have 150 over 360 times 2 times pi times the radius, which is 2 kilometers. And we can work this out to be 5.235, which as well we're going to round up to 24 kilometers. But that's not what we're looking for. That was just this one length. So for the total perimeter is equal to S of S. It is going to be 5.24 for the curvy bit plus 2 kilometers for the straight bit plus another 2 kilometers for the other straight bit, which gives us 9.24 kilometers. And that is perimeter. See you in the next one. Goodbye.